Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Zebra Nation Plays Football Manager 2017. American Manager in London, Lancing United, all that business. Season 2 has come to an end, and it wasn't a great season, to be honest with you. We finished 19th in the league, as you can see down here at the bottom. 39 points, so we finished a whole 4 points ahead of relegation. Not great, not even good. But you know what? We didn't get relegated, so that's important. Continuing the fight and all that business. The board's expectation was to fight bravely against relegation, and that's what we did, I guess. They wanted us to reach the third round in the FA Cup, and we were knocked out in the third round, so I guess that's good. They wanted us to reach the third round of the FA Trophy, and we were knocked out in the third round, so I guess that's good. I don't know, they seem fairly happy with us. Take a look at the board. We're very secure in our position, 62%, so that's good. Our youth facilities were upgraded last year. Our new stadium's going to be coming next year. So we got some things to look forward to next season. But this season was a bit of a loss. I expected a little bit more improvement, but we took a minor step back, I think. Looking at the schedule, we started out very poorly. We started out with a lot of losses. In our friendlies, that should have been an omen of how poorly we did in our friendlies. And then, the Venorama South, we started out okay, but just couldn't get any traction, couldn't get any momentum, couldn't put any wins together. Had not a single instance of back-to-back wins. Our best streak was right here, 2 wins and 1 draw. And one of those came in the FA Cup against a minor league team, so that's, barely countable there. And then at the end of the season, we just fell apart. Our discipline fell apart, our stamina fell apart, just match fitness, injuries, all that stuff, penalties, suspensions, just the team really lost focus at the end of the season. You can see this huge winless streak right here. It's like 10 games or so that we just had no wins. At the end of the season, facing relegation, we kind of pulled 2 games out of our hats here. We got a win versus Western Supermare. Right here you can see a 2-1 victory. I guess we can take a look at the highlights for that. Take a look at the goals that we had. This was a big win for us because, like I said, the end of the season was just brutal. It was kind of soul crushing. I didn't even record a lot of those games because I just kept saying, well, let's get a win. Let's get a win. I don't want to record a game until I get a win. But they go up early on us with a beautiful header there from Will Christopher. Not much old Big Bank Hanks could have done with that, but he got a little shaky towards the end of the season. Now here's a counterattack started by Adams. Adams is one of our better players this season. Played very well for us to Tucker Dixon, new young striker of ours that we're hoping to re-sign. And then there's the big man, Tiki Ali, with the goal. He had 16 goals this season. That's decent. Once Yates went down, though, our offense just kind of sputtered. And there's Adams with the free kick, or the penalty kick. The penalty kick, and that's kind of how our offense struggled. We couldn't generate any goals, and we had to get weird goals to get any wins. 1 goal seemed to be our maximum, and it's just no way to win games. So we'll exit that. We'll leave that match. Go down to our final draw of the season. It came down to this last game where they're like, you need at least 1 point to avoid relegation, because we were in a tie for relegation until we got this win versus Western Supermare. That put us 3 points up, but still, we were reachable at that point. I think if who was it? Yeah, if Poole had won, their last game, they could have knocked us out because of the goal differential by 1. They didn't end up winning their game, and we ended up drawing, so there's no way they could have beaten us. But there was a bit of tension, a bit of drama there in the last match. And we pulled it out with a 2-2 draw. Again, not the greatest thing ever, but when the chips were down, we did kind of perform okay. So I guess you can take some solace in that. Again, there's Adams. He was very good specialty player for us this season. Leighton is a guy who, he was up and down this season, and that could have been my fault. I tried playing him at different positions. Tried playing at left back and center back. Got a cold. And, he struggled a bit with consistency, and that could be a reason why. But our defense as a whole struggled with consistency. There's Lindsay to Tucker Dixon, and that's no good. This is a play that kind of bounces around through midfield. And it highlights one of our problems here. Possession was a real problem for us this season. We just, our guys, they can't dribble, they can't possess the ball very well. They make a lot of dumb passes like that, just firing the ball up the field. But I think one of our, look at that defense. He just hops right over for the easy goal there. Marshall, Lancaster to Marshall for the easy tap-in goal. Our defense is just not bad, but not stifling. So I don't know. We've got so many areas to improve that it's almost a little daunting. Oh, there's Tukiti Ali. Was he worth $25,000 this year? That's what his salary was. I can't say that for sure, but I know without him we'd have been in big trouble, especially once Yates went down. So we gotta consider his contract. We gotta consider a lot of contracts this offseason and say who's worth the money. Because we'll take a look at our finances there. There's just that was a heartbreaker right there. That shot, because we had fairly decent defense. That was just a great shot. And then look down here. At the end of the game, we ended 2 guys short due to red cards, and that started to be a problem at the end of the season. Just guys getting so many yellow cards, so many red cards, and just out of control. Poor fitness, poor discipline, just I guess you could say poor coaching, because that's what it comes down to. So we're going to have to look at all of that stuff. We're going to have to look at coaching. We're going to have to look at our facilities, although our facilities shouldn't be bad. Take a look at the facilities here. Adequate corporate facilities, basic training facilities, poor youth facilities. So we're going to get a new stadium. That should help. So at least facility-wise, it should improve the field. Maybe we'll be able to play better. Maybe we'll get less injuries because we'll be playing on a better field. That could help out. And then what I'd like to do is improve our training facilities a little bit. See if we can get some money for that. But in order to do that, I think we're going to have to cut salary. We're going to have to cut, some players. And I don't know how much these under 18s are really costing us. Because we got a lot of them, and a lot of them that are just not going to ever play for us. So I might just cut a lot of these guys. So I know they're on non-contracts or whatever. See, earning $350. That just seems a lot. Well, $350 per year, I guess, is not a lot at all. $350 per year is not a lot at all. So I guess that's not our problem, but maybe too many under 23 players? Are these guys making money? He's working on an expired contract. So he gets $75 per game. So, if he gets $75 per game and he plays just as many games in the under 23s, I guess that could add up. But, I like having the under 23s for match fitness purposes, but I don't know. I don't know. Don't know. Anyway, we'll figure that out in the off season. But we did get some interesting emails. Well, I guess we can look at the competition, see who won it. Ebbs Fleet was promoted. Take a look at them. Compare them to us. Let's take a look at their facilities. Perfect field conditions. Look at that. Average, average, adequate. So we've got a ways to go to catch Ebbs Fleet. I don't think we can take a look at their financials. Media predicted first. Finances. So estimated value $210,000. Average ticket price $12. They got 485 season ticket holders. So it's not great, but it's not the worst thing. It's better than us. I think we got 100 season ticket holders. Take a look at their players. Senior squad. So they got quite a few players. Look at a couple of lone players valued at 71,000. Oh my goodness. Earning 90,000? Like seriously, guy, that's more than most of my team put together in their one guy. So you can see we got a long ways to go to reach teams like Ebbs Fleet. That's pretty crazy. We did get some emails here going into the off season, and interesting one here is our best 11. They have us in the 442 diamond. Maybe that's a something we should think about. But according to them, our best 11: Love, Humphrey, Leighton, Stewart on the back line, which is kind of the guys we went with towards the end of the season. You know, Stewart and Love are two guys I just don't know about. I don't know about these guys because they have some things that I like. They're both fullbacks who can get on the offensive. You know, they've got some decent crossing abilities, free kicks. You know, marking, tackling, not the best, but not terrible either. Okay, strength. You know, jumping reach, not great. So he's okay. He's only listed as 1.5 stars. 21 years old. You know, he's not going to get any better. That's the problem. So he's got some skills we like right now, but he's not going to get any better. Stewart is in a similar boat, but he's got more potential. So we might keep Stewart around. He's 2 stars now. He's got the potential to be 3.5 stars, which would be outstanding. He's got the crossing, tackling that we like. Fitness and pace are good. You know, jumping reach not good. Strength not good. But he's only 20 years old, so he's a guy we could keep around, I think. You know, Leighton and Humphrey are our best central defenders. There's no doubt about that. They've got, you know, McGann George here is our defensive midfielder, and he's played well in stretches. You know, he was a difference maker coming off the bench for a little while there. We'd bring him in that ball-winning mentality. He would come off the bench at the central midfield and make some plays for us. But, you know, earning 11,000 is quite a lot from a guy who doesn't play every game, especially since we switched away from the defensive midfielder in our team. We might go back to that, I don't know. Guard and Adams at the central midfield. You know, those are 2 guys. Guard was a late signing, but he's a guy with good touch, decent passing. You know, a versatile guy. He's got potential, so hopefully we can keep him around. He can play. Adams, of course, is a guy who can play on the right wing, play the central midfield. He was a good all-around player for us. He needs to improve his technical abilities for sure. But that's a theme for all of our guys. All of our guys need to improve. Yates, of course, up here. He took a dip this season. I don't know. Just, he's down to a 2-star guy with 3-star potential. And he's got the 14 finishing, and he finished with, how many goals did he finish with? 11 goals in 27 games. It's not the worst, but it's second best on the team. You know, he was second to Tiali, who I think finished with 16 goals, if I recall that correctly. 14 goals. So you can see our goal production just way down this season. We got to figure that out. We've got some young strikers we might need to bring on board, but I don't know that they're really ready to produce. So I don't know. We got questions going in the off season. We got to look at every position. We got to look at every player and just try to improve our starting 11 across the board, and hopefully we'll be able to make some moves, at least finish mid-table. We got the season-ending awards here. Fans Player of the Season, Dan Adams, 52%. Sam Stewart and Yates were second and third. Goal of the season, Tuki Tiali versus East Thurrock. Let's take a look at that. We go in our 4-4-2 formation. Achievement unlocked. Armchair expert. Okay. Got a little Steam achievement there. Here we go. There's Yates. So this is an older one. Tiali just, fires it off the head of a defender. And then the goalkeeper can't handle the deflection. That's the goal of the season, huh? Okay. Signing of the season, Tyrone Tucker-Dixon. Here's a youngster. Again, I talked about the young players that we might have to bring up. And Tucker-Dixon is, the epitome of that. He's got great finishing, great first touch. Can knock the ball past his opponent. So he's got some interesting skills here. He's a target man, which we don't really need if we've got Tiki Tiali coming back. Or we could replace Tiali with Tucker-Dixon. That's another question to be decided in the off season. And then young player of the season, Dan Adams, which 20 years old is not young for our team. But, it's well-deserved. He played a lot of positions for us, played a lot on the right field, played a lot in central midfield. So he's another guy we think about bringing back next season. His physicals aren't great, but he's really just average all around. Got nothing great about him, nothing poor about him. I think he makes a better winger than a central midfielder just because his strength and things like that are not the greatest. He's not fast for a winger, but he does have some decent cornering and crossing abilities. So I don't know. He's a guy we'll look to keep around if it's not too expensive. Season review. Here we go. Lansing United has been expected to be relegation certainties heading into the season. And although that was the case, they will be delighted to have finished with their heads above water. That's from PBC Sport. So they expected us to be relegated, but we just barely didn't, so we should be happy about that, I guess. English Cup, we lost in the third round. As we mentioned before, FA Cup, third round, 19th in Venorama, not good. Average attendance, 170, not good. Total players used 28, so 28 players, that's okay. I like to use a lot of players, but we might have to rethink that for this level of football. Let's go to the season-ending team meeting. I think now would be a good time to let the players know what you plan for next season. All right, let's hold that team meeting. Season finished. We've done brilliantly to stay in this division. Don't be under the illusion that we won't be in for another tough campaign next season, though. Done well avoiding relegation. It's been a great effort. You all deserve a good break now. Make sure you come back fully rested because I'm looking for a safe mid-table finish next time. That might be too aggressive for these guys. Let's take a look at these guys. Proud of the club's league position. Just happy to see the club performing well in the league. These guys are just wants to commit his future to the club. Who's this? Jack Humphrey. Okay, we'll sign you for sure. Proud of the club's league position. Wants to commit future to Tiali. Okay, so we got some good news here from these players. Looking forward to gaining first team. Interesting. Season is over. It's time for you all to go have a well-deserved break. after staying up. I want every single one of you to be fully rested and good condition to get back because we're going to be looking to finish top half. Oh, that's way too aggressive for these guys. Like, I want to be realistic and say we want to finish. We want to look to mid-table. No. I think it's a bit unrealistic. I'm very confident we can do what I said. I won't settle for anything less than your best, helping us achieve it. Or I'm sensitive to the opinion of the room, and there's a general feeling that I'm overplaying our hand a bit. I'm happy to set the bar to lower the focus on avoiding relegation. Yeah, I don't want to lie to these guys. I don't think you're setting an achievable target for the season. All right. I expect each of you has your opinion, because these guys are just not being very aggressive, and they're going into the off season on a bit of a downer because they think I'm being too aggressive. That's kind of the risk you take there at those season-ending season-ending meetings. Anyway, to summarize, the board is very pleased with your leadership of the team, 62%. Pleased with the number of young first-team players you've signed. Major criticism, our 1-3 loss to Dorchester was upsetting. Okay. So they liked our club philosophies and our transfers, 76%. Matches, 58%. Squad harmony, 58%. And then stature, 52%. Competitions, also 54%. So we're keeping our heads above water. That's good, I guess. But I'd like to make some strides, make some improvements. Just do something to get a little more enthusiasms going on. So hopefully once we get in the new stadium and all that business, we'll have some... Reading my emails here, sorry. Losing my train of thought. Hopefully once we get in our new stadium and improve our facilities, we'll start to see some growth and some improvement in our third season. That would be great. Decide. I like to go 5 weeks. That's fine. This is for our winners. Our preseason going to begin. I like to give us a nice 5-week preseason. Hopefully we can sign some good matches there. Coaching summary. They want us to hire a director of football, but I don't really know what that position does. So I don't really want to hire that position. Annual youth audit. We've kept our Category 4 youth rating. The board has estimated the annual cost of running the youth setup is $17,000. Okay, that's good. Request improved youth category. Bringing in better youth players is the only way we're going to get better, really. In order to build the squad into a formidable unit I want it to be, we must really look for a higher grade of youth system. It's imperative to strive for our best whenever we can. Now, you see, the financial situation gets in the way of us improving the club, so that's why we got to look at bringing down the team cost a little bit. Because at the end of the season, we can look at the finances here. We lost almost $300,000. At the end of the season, they kept having to pump in, $30,000 to $60,000 every month to keep us afloat. And that's no good. So we got to bring our payroll down a little bit. We're down to $195,000, which is good. Keep it under that $200,000 range, but we'll still look for more cost savings to get us in the black so that we can start getting some improvements. And I guess that'll wrap it up for this season review. Is there anything we missed? I don't think so. We'll come back later with some off-season signings and some preseason matches. Until then, see you later. Bye.